Welcome to our U.S. briefing program. Today, we dive into a tense situation in Yemen where Houthi rebels claim to have shot down an American drone, all while the U.S. ramps up airstrikes against them. President Trump has issued stern warnings, emphasizing that the campaign will continue until the Houthis stop their attacks on U.S. vessels. The stakes are high as the conflict escalates with threats against Israeli ships, marking a significant uptick in military actions. In other news, the Transgender Day of Visibility took on a new tone this year, with supporters gathering at the National Mall to advocate for transgender rights amidst policies that threaten their identities. Young activists like 13-year-old Ira expressed the urgency of the moment, while notable speakers highlighted the ongoing fight for equality in the face of rising discrimination. The rally showcased solidarity and the importance of visibility in these challenging times. Lastly, President Trump has announced his plans for tariffs that he claims will be nicer than those imposed by other countries, aiming to bring wealth back to the U.S. However, experts are skeptical about the implications, suggesting that these tariffs could disrupt global supply chains and increase consumer prices. As the global markets react, tensions with allies like Canada and the EU are also on the rise. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage. Associated Press: in a dramatic escalation of conflict, Yemen's Houthi rebels have claimed responsibility for shooting down an American MQ-9 Reaper drone amidst ongoing U.S. airstrikes targeting their positions. This incident occurred over the contested Marib Governorate, where the Houthis are actively engaged in combat against forces loyal to Yemen's exiled government. U.S. President Donald Trump has issued stern warnings to the Houthis and Iran, asserting that the rebels have suffered significant losses due to relentless airstrikes that began on March 15. Trump emphasized that the U.S. would continue its aggressive campaign until the Houthis cease their attacks on shipping routes, which are vital for regional stability. The Houthis, meanwhile, maintain that they have downed a total of 20 drones over the years, asserting their capabilities with locally manufactured surface-to-air missiles, despite Iran's denial of providing them with military support. Associated Press: the Transgender Day of Visibility in Washington, D.C., took on a poignant significance amidst a backdrop of policies enacted by the Trump administration that many see as erasing transgender identities from public life. Supporters of transgender rights gathered on the National Mall to rally for equality, with poignant stories shared by attendees like 13-year-old Ira, who expressed a desire to see visible support for their community. The rally featured emotional speeches from figures like actress Lena Dunham and Representative Pramila Jayapal, highlighting the ongoing struggles faced by transgender individuals in a political climate that often marginalizes them. Participants wore symbols of pride and solidarity, emphasizing their determination to resist invisibility and assert their rights in the face of adversity, as they called for recognition and respect in a society where their identities are under threat. Al Jazeera: President Donald Trump has stirred global financial markets with his announcement of upcoming reciprocal tariffs, promising they will be more favorable than those imposed by other countries. In a press briefing, Trump claimed that the tariffs would be nicer and lower than existing rates, framing this move as a necessary step to reclaim America's economic strength. As anticipation builds ahead of his April 2 announcement, analysts express skepticism about the clarity and effectiveness of his tariff strategy, particularly given the mixed performance of U.S. stocks and the potential for escalating trade tensions with allies. The tariffs are expected to target a wide range of countries, including those with significant trade deficits with the U.S., and could disrupt global supply chains, leading to increased consumer prices. As Trump's administration navigates these complex trade dynamics, the implications for international relations and domestic economic stability remain uncertain. South China Morning Post reports that Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, is doubling down on its commitment to Taiwan with the inauguration of a new domestic fab in Kaohsiung, which promises to create 7,000 tech jobs. TSMC's Executive Vice President YPCHYN emphasized the company's intention to maintain a strong presence in Taiwan, even as it embarks on a significant $100 billion investment plan in the United States. This new facility will produce advanced 2-nanometer chips, integral to various industries from mobile phones to military technology. The Taiwanese government has welcomed TSMC's assurances, highlighting the company's role as a pillar of the local economy, often referred to as the Sacred Mountain of Taiwan. Associated Press reveals that the United States has imposed sanctions on 6 Chinese and Hong Kong officials, including Justice Secretary Paul Lam, for their involvement in transnational repression and actions that undermine Hong Kong's autonomy. This move is expected to heighten tensions between Washington and Beijing, particularly as the U.S. government accuses these officials of using national security laws to intimidate pro-democracy activists, some of whom have fled abroad. The Hong Kong government has vehemently condemned the sanctions, claiming they are a form of U.S. hegemony and asserting that the individuals targeted are wanted for legitimate charges related to national security violations. South China Morning Post further details Beijing's strong backlash against the U.S. sanctions, with Chinese officials vowing to retaliate. The sanctions, which affect key figures in Hong Kong's administration, are seen as an attempt by the U.S. to undermine China's stability and progress. The Hong Kong government has defended its national security measures, arguing that the actions against the 19 pro-democracy activists, including the cancellation of their passports, are lawful and necessary for maintaining order. They accused the U.S. of providing cover for those who threaten national security, asserting that the sanctions reflect a hypocritical stance on human rights and democracy. South China Morning Post reports that escalating tensions in the South China Sea, fueled by poor diplomacy and deep-seated mistrust among claimant states, could lead to a potential crisis. Lucio Pitlow, a research fellow at the Asia-Pacific Pathways to Progress Foundation, highlighted the alarming increase in sea and air incidents, particularly between China and the Philippines. He emphasized that despite existing dialogue mechanisms, both countries have become reactive rather than proactive, focusing on damage control instead of preventing conflicts. With China claiming most of the resource-rich waters and the Philippines bolstering its defense ties with the U.S. and other nations, the risk of miscalculations remains high. Pitlow suggested that involving local communities and establishing military hotlines could help build trust and manage crises, while also warning that failure to address the situation could invite external intervention, similar to the Ukraine conflict. Associated Press reveals a significant legal ruling in Alabama, where a judge denied immunity to police officer Mac Marquette for the shooting of Steve Perkins, an armed black man, in his front yard. The incident occurred during a repossession attempt, and body camera footage showed Marquette firing 18 bullets in less than 2 seconds after identifying himself. The judge stated that the jury must determine if Marquette was acting within his authority as a police officer at the time of the shooting. Testimonies indicated that the officers were not authorized to assist in the repossession without a court order, and their covert approach was deemed unusual for maintaining order. The ruling highlights the complexities of law enforcement actions and the scrutiny surrounding police use of deadly force, especially in situations involving armed individuals in their own homes. As the case moves forward, the jury will have to assess the circumstances leading to the shooting and whether Marquette's actions were justified. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Empty smiles, their words mislead.